This is Aziz Gool, and today I want to share with you guys, if you are a founder that is in the process of raising some venture capital, or if you have recently been funded, there are 5 critical questions as a founder that you should be asking yourself in terms of what you do with that capital. So, obviously the fundraising landscape has grown by an order of magnitude. And, yesterday's kind of $2-3 million seed round is now essentially what looks today as a $30-40 million Series A round. And that's not going to reverse anytime in the future. And of course, raising huge amounts of capital sounds great, but capital in and of itself will not solve the challenges and the obstacles that are faced by a founder and by a startup. There's a saying that goes that money can only solve money problems. And the other challenges that you face need different solutions. So raising a large amount of capital in your seed or Series A round does not necessarily translate into a successful venture, a unicorn, or the like, right? So in terms of what happens after you raise that capital, that becomes the critical question. The important thing, you need to understand how to allocate that capital effectively and efficiently, and how to execute in order to really see the growth and the scale in your business. And this includes looking at things like, your growth metrics, your hiring processes, and your product and market fit, and your customer acquisition, just to name a few, right? So really, let's get into it. Question number one: who is the right investment partner for you? And a lot of people think that writing a big check is kind of where everything starts and ends, and if you have this capital, you can figure it all out on your own. And whether or not you have the experience of having been part of another startup, another founding team, there's always other types of capital that a backer can bring to the opportunity, which are sometimes more helpful than just the capital itself. And what I'm talking about here is beyond financial capital, the relational capital and intellectual capital, which is your industry expertise, right? So how can they actually coach you and advise you and be of value to your business, sitting on your board as they guide and coach you on how to grow the business, where to put your priorities, not just who has the deepest pockets. So, find trustworthy investors that are a good fit for what you're doing, have domain expertise, have, lots of relationship capital in terms of their network, and can actually bring more than just the money. All right. The second thing you need to figure out is, what is your uses of capital and what is the priority of that, right? So where in the business are you going to allocate this capital for the most dramatic effect, right? In an optimal way? Is it going to be to your customer acquisition strategy? Is it going to be to your hiring process? Is it going to be to your systems and efficiency? These are things you need to figure out early before you go out and raise the capital, ideally. And then question number 3 is, what should my hiring priorities be, right? As you scale a company, your structure becomes very important, right? So when you're a solopreneur one-man show, you're probably going to use some sort of VA or PA to kind of minimize admin functions in your own life. But once you now grow the business, what are those key roles that you need in your middle management structure, right? Your CFO, your COO, your CMO, your CRO. Are you going to combine marketing and sales in a CRO? Are you going to keep them separate as a CMO and a head of business development of sorts, or VP of sales? these are critical questions that you need to understand and know for yourself, and also, think about it strategically in terms of how you're going to grow the business, in terms of maximizing profit and growing revenue, because, you can only do one or the other at any one point in time. Then the next thing, and this is number 4, is how do I sell candidates on my vision? Now, this is an interesting question because your mission and your vision is your core, your foundation of your business. It's how you get buy-in from your stakeholders, from your customers, from your team. It is one of the most important mission critical factors in your business. And it's often, I think, taken for granted. But, in order to really embody and live your culture, you must live by your core values, your mission, and your vision. So this is a key part of your strategy in terms of how you acquire A players with great talent is, what is your mission and your vision? How do you sell it? How do you use it to persuade? How do you use it to move people emotionally? Because that is ultimately what is going to attract the right people to your organization. And in addition to that, what are your HR processes? What are your systems? What's your onboarding program like? How are you vetting candidates? Are you using certain methodologies, resources or tools to qualify your candidates properly, right? Because the last thing you want to do is one of the most costly exercises is to recruit and then have to, kind of manage someone out of the team and performance manage someone. So I hope that those are some really great insights for you guys. And I'm now going to end off with the final one, which is what key metrics should you be looking at in your business? Now, I personally subscribe to the kind of EOS performance management style. And EOS is very big in terms of, looking at what are the key factors for your success, what are your, in Google's terms, your objectives and your key results, right? So having your 3-year vivid vision in place, working that back to a annual broken up by quarter battle plan with the associated OKRs, which is your objectives and key results, knowing what you need to measure and what's working, what's not working in the business, so you can identify those small hinges that swing the big doors and really get your growth to go at scale and optimize it effectively. That's what I would be doing. So these are 5 questions that you need to be asking yourself if you are in the process of raising capital, thinking of raising capital, or have been recently backed. And don't be shy to lean on your venture capital partner and gain from their knowledge, wisdom, experience, expertise, because that is why they're there. And the more help that they can give you, the more speed they can buy you in terms of getting the results that you are looking for even faster. Then like below and subscribe for the next one. I'll see you guys next time.